You know, solariums and sunrooms are just great unless there's too much moisture built up inside, like this fog on the windows. You know, that being condensation is something that can be corrected, and it should be because it sure doesn't add to the energy efficiency of your home. So let's take a look at the solution. And here's the unit that's going to solve our problem. It's called the Humidex system. Now, it's a very simple cabinet manufactured of plastic, and on the inside, there's two computer fans. That way it tells you right off the bat that it's going to be very quiet in operation. Now it's operated and controlled by a dehumidistat here on the front. I'll get into that further later. Now the back duct system, as you can see here, has an extension of approximately 5 inches. Now there is another extension duct that will allow you to extend it out to thicker walls, especially if you're in an apartment building or a townhouse, or it could be even in a basement suite. That way you can get the full thickness of the wall. We won't need that in this application, but it comes as an accessory with the item. On the outside wall, here's your outside wall duct. Now that will sit on the outside wall, directing the air down and out the bottom and away from the home. So let's get at the installation. I'm going to have to cut a hole in the wall, first of all, for the duct system to extend through, and then we'll have to cut the duct to the wall thickness. Now what I've done here, I've located the unit. As you can see, I've drawn my rectangle here on the wall. That's where the duct is going to be cut through the wall. And what I've done, I've set it off center of the panel. The reason for that, because there's a chair that sits here and I don't want it to be obstructed by the chair in behind. Also, the instructions state to be at least 20 inches above the floor level, so I've put it at 26 inches, keeping it well up off the floor, and 12 inches down from the bottom to the bottom of the actual duct opening itself. Now I'm ready to drill the hole in order to get the reciprocating saw in there so I can now put the unit through the wall. Using my drill, I'm going to drill a 1/4-inch hole in each of the 4 corners of the rectangle right through to the outside. That'll identify the duct size on the outside as well, and as well give me an area where my reciprocating saw can come in and complete the cut into the corner. Now, using my reciprocating saw, I can shove it through the hole. That way now I can cut the whole sandwich panel at one time. Now, if you don't have a reciprocating saw, just go out and rent one. They're available, but they're sure nice to use. They're just like a big jigsaw. There we have it. I have the hole all cut ready now for the Humidex. Now you'll notice here that the duct is much longer than what's required for this 2-inch thick wall. Now I have a scratch awl. I'll put the unit into the hole, go outside, and mark it. That way I'll know exactly where to cut. Using tin snips now, I'll cut the duct to length. Now we're all ready to put it into the opening. First of all, I'm going to run a bead of caulking right around the area where we're going to pass through the cavity in the wall. That's to stop any draft leakage as well as any little critters like ants to get in from outside. Put that in there. Oh, now we'll put our leveling grommet into place and pound it in. There we are. Now we'll put the 3 more nails in around the perimeter. Now the little expansion plug that has a retaining nail are very easy to put in. You just shove them into the 1/4-inch hole through the little rubber grommet, and that stops any noise transfer onto the wall and holds it tight to the wall. Now the installation's complete, all ready for the outside wall cap. Let's go out and put that on. Now I've got the outside cap almost installed here, but this let me explain to you what I've done. On the outside, where the duct came through from inside the room, I've taken a metal flashing that comes along with the unit, and as you can see it here, crimped over the top of the outside cap. That way, when you shove the cap up into it at this point, there's not going to be any leaking get down into the room. I've run a bead of caulking around the entire frame, and now screwing it down into place, and you'll see the caulking ooze out around the perimeter. There, let's wipe off that caulking. There, that's got it. Now let's go upstairs and see how it works. The system is powered up by a 110-volt circuit. All you have to do is plug it into the closest duplex receptacle. Now we're all set. Now let me turn the dial from off to summer, and there won't be any increase in speed as far as the motor's to exhaust. But let's turn it to the winter setting. There, you can hear it. Now that's exhausting, and that will exhaust until the relative humidity in this room reduces down to 40%. And that's what you want during the winter months. But in the summer months, just leave it at the summer setting. And if there's too much moisture buildup in the morning, or if you have a lot of plants out in the solarium, or you possibly boiling coffee, it'll come on automatically. Vent that moisture out to eliminate the steam on your windows. You know, if you've got a beautiful view like this out to the backyard, you sure don't want it all covered with condensation. So why don't you look into solarium ventilation? It's easy to install.